Hello, BTS lovers. When the names of BTS's Jungkook and Jimin are mentioned, we might imagine a stage filled with cheering fans, not a cold military barracks. However, their current lives are far from the glitter of the entertainment world. In the course of their conscription in Division 2, the two face new challenges that are not only physical, but also mental. But there was one moment that stunned all the soldiers, a sudden order in the middle of the night addressed only to Jungkook. What exactly happened? Punishment, secret assignment, or something else? Military life is nothing new in South Korea, but for Jungkook and Jimin, it's a completely different world. From morning to night schedule, their every activity is closely monitored. As part of Division 2, which is known for its discipline, they have to adjust to a hard life, getting up early in the morning, undergoing physical exercise, to keep up with daily tasks. One day, after a grueling training routine, Jungkook and Jimin decide to take advantage of their break in the barracks where they sleep. However, their break did not last long. Suddenly, the door of the room opened with a firm voice from their commander. Jungkook, Park Jimin, go to the kitchen now. The two looked at each other, puzzled. Why were they suddenly called? Is this an ordinary task, or is there something more important? In the kitchen, the commander gave brief instructions. You two are assigned as cooks today. Make sure that dinner for the whole army is completed on time. With no previous experience, Jungkook goes to great lengths to prepare meals for their colleagues. This moment was not only a challenge, but also a moment of togetherness that reminded them of their days cooking with other BTS members. Amid the excitement of chopping vegetables and arranging pots, Jungkook joked, "Hyung, are we soldiers or chefs?" Jimin, who is known to be patient, just laughed a little. It was a lot easier than training this morning. That night, the food they served received praise from the soldiers. In fact, some of them said that they had never tasted such a delicious dinner. Outside of kitchen duties, Jungkook and Jimin turned out to be outstanding performers. Jungkook, who is known for his stamina and toughness in BTS, became one of the warriors with the best time in long-distance running. Jimin, on the other hand, was honored as one of the best shooters in shooting practice. However, this feat was not without struggle. In an internal military interview, one of their colleagues revealed, Jungkook and Jimin worked harder than anyone. Maybe because they know that the whole world is watching them, but they also want to prove that they can be good soldiers, just like us. One of the most memorable moments for the soldiers of the 2nd Division was when the entire barracks was shocked by a sudden training call. In the middle of the night, the sound of sirens echoed, forcing all the soldiers to wake up from their sleep. Jimin, who was sleeping next to Jungkook, looked a little dazed, but still immediately moved on command. This exercise turned out to be an emergency simulation. All the soldiers had to gather in less than 5 minutes. Jungkook, who is known for his alacrity, was one of the first to arrive at the site. However, this moment becomes even more interesting when the next day, Jungkook is awakened alone by the commander. This incident sparked speculation among the soldiers. Was he punished? Whispered one of them. Or maybe he got a special assignment? As it turned out, Jungkook was called to undergo additional training. According to the commander, this is part of the flagship Warrior Development Program. Jungkook has great potential, and we want to see how far he can go, the commander said. Although it was hard at first, Jungkook accepted the challenge with enthusiasm. I want to do my best, not only for myself, but also for the people who trust me, he told Jimin after practice. Jimin, who always supported his best friend, just smiled and said, "You were born for this, Jungkook. Do your best." These moments brought deep emotions, not only to Jungkook and Jimin, but also to their colleagues. From small cheers as they serve food, to applause for their achievements, Jungkook and Jimin have become an inspiration to many young soldiers in the 2D Division. However, for their fans, the biggest question remains hanging. How did these two world stars cope with the harsh military life? Do they miss the stage, or instead find new meaning in life as soldiers? Their story in the Division 2 is proof that behind the glitter of the entertainment world, there are humans who are constantly struggling, looking for new meaning in every step of their lives. And for Jungkook and Jimin, conscription is not the end of their journey, but the beginning of a new chapter full of challenges and surprises. For Jungkook and Jimin, military life is not only about hard work and discipline, but also about finding a new family in the cold of the barracks. Although the two initially felt alien, their fellow soldiers slowly became an irreplaceable source of support. "I never expected two world stars like them to be so humble," said one soldier who declined to be named. They not only work hard, but also make sure everyone around them feels valued. Jungkook, for example, often helped other soldiers with physical exercises, sharing tips from his many years of sports experience. Jimin, with his warm personality, became a vent for many soldiers who found it difficult to adjust to military life. "They are not only inspirations, but also true friends," added one of the senior soldiers. Although the support of fellow soldiers encouraged Jungkook and Jimin, military life was still full of surprises. One of the most confusing moments occurred a few weeks after the midnight practice incident. That night, the air seemed calm. The soldiers, including Jimin, had been preparing to sleep after a tiring day. However, at about 2 o'clock in the morning, the sound of heavy steps was heard in the corridor. A knock on the door woke Jungkook. "Jungkook, get ready. You are summoned to the commander's room," said an escort soldier in a flat tone. Jungkook, who was half conscious, just asked, "What's wrong, Hyung?" "Do not know. Direct order," he replied shortly before leaving. When Jungkook left the room, Jimin woke up and could only stare at the door with a confused look. "What is going on?" he whispered, more to himself. This incident again sparked speculation among the soldiers. Many suspect that Jungkook may have done something wrong, although there is no evidence to support that. On the other hand, some believe that this is part of a secret mission that can only be entrusted to certain people. When Jungkook returned a few hours later, his face looked tired but serious. Jimin, who had been waiting anxiously, immediately approached her. "Is everything all right?" "What happened?" asked Jimin. Jungkook only smiled slightly and replied, "There's nothing to worry about, Hyung. This is just an additional task." However, his facial expression implied something deeper. Although he did not explain the details, Jimin knew that there was a burden being borne by his best friend. In the next few days, Jungkook looked busier than usual. He was often summoned by commanders and spent time outside the barracks undergoing intensive training. Some soldiers expressed their admiration for his stamina and determination, while others were intrigued by what was really going on. "He never complained, even when it was obvious that he was very tired," said one of the soldiers who witnessed Jungkook's struggle. With the passage of time, Jungkook and Jimin become more and more accustomed to military life. Not only did they become an indispensable part of the Division 2, but they also proved that they could live out this new role with dedication. However, the question remains, will the sudden events involving Jungkook continue? And how will their experiences during this draft affect their journey after returning to the entertainment world? For fans, the story of Jungkook and Jimin in the Division 2 is clear proof that they are strong individuals, both on stage and in the middle of the barracks. The challenges they face may be different than usual, but their spirit remains the same, unshakable.